Tonight, for Noir Night, we have two double Bs. That's right, I'm showing a double feature of two B movies. And just to refresh you what most of you probably know, but some of you probably don't, what the definition of a B movie is not what most people use the term B movie for. It's not a crappy movie, a cheapy. What is a cheapy? The term comes from this being the second feature shown after the first feature. So that doesn't make sense. We're showing a B and a B, but they were films. There was a unit. There were units. You know what it means. It's not these aren't Roger Corman movies. In the early studio era, it was referred to films that were shown in the second half of a double feature, and they were usually cheaper. And so, if you wanted to stick around for the B film, it would not have as big a star or as high as a production or as long of a runtime. Sometimes these movies, people would get very creative, and a lot of great noir was made as B films. So tonight we're showing two approximately hour-long films. We have a ton of noir tropes stacked up. You're gonna get your fill in the first feature. A femme fatale gets aroused by trouble. There's a word for that, kids. It's Night Editor, starring William Gargan, who was at one point in his life an actual private detective. And he's got a scratchy voice, and his name is Gargan. Sounds like he wants to gargle. So he's got a scratchy voice that Gargan needs to gargle. And Janice Carter, who drives a car to her house. She plays a real femme fatale who likes to see him get beat up. It also has Jeff Donnell, who always played a friend lady and seldom played a lead, but she was real in the Hollywood mix. Night Editor. This one is gonna stick with you. This one is pretty trashy at certain points and pretty shocking at certain points. The reason it's called Night Editor is because in a lot of these B movies, they'd kind of serialize them with a framing, so that people would be like, oh, it's a Night Editor film, but they didn't really keep going with this. So this one starts out with a group of reporters hanging around telling stories to each other. So it flashes back to a story. Burnett Guffey shot this, or shot part of it. I think there's two cinematographers, but he would shoot some of the best, some great noir. You can't go wrong with him. He shot things like Scandal Sheet, In a Lonely Place, The Sniper. He'd even go on to shoot Bonnie and Clyde. Moving on in our Noir Night double BB, in our B of Bs, our B of two Bs, Arby's, we have the meats. Same, different, Arby's is different. Moving on, our B's movie, a guy wakes up from a coma and he finds out he's got to be on the run and that he's got PTSD and that Richard Fleischer, who we've shown films of before, one of the great, did some of the best noirs, Narrow Margin. He cut his teeth making things like this. The Clay Pigeon, it's called. It's called The Clay Pigeon. It was written by Carl Foreman, who would write High Noon. That's a classic. Stars Bill Williams and Barbara Hale. You guys like Bill Williams and Barbara Hale? Guess what? They were married. They were a married couple. Bill Williams is in the film, and so is Barbara Hale. And they were a married couple. Put their faces together in your brain. Who do they look like? Someone you don't recognize? You think about an actor, maybe who might have been in the 70s when you were all alive. A little somebody called The Greatest American Hero. William Catt. You might have known him as the pretty boy in Carrie. You might have known him as The Greatest American Hero. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. You might have known him as a guy who auditioned for Luke Skywalker but didn't get it. Anyway, William Catt is the son of Bill Williams and Barbara Hale, who star in The Clay Pigeon. This film is so noir. Let me just read this. Jim Fletcher, waking up from a coma, charged with informing on fellow inmates in Japanese prison, tries to clear himself, enlisting the aid of Martha Gray. Gets closer to finding answers he needs, becomes ensnared in a grandiose scheme involving his Japanese ex-prison guard, 10 million a year, poison rehab throughout Southern California. Honestly, who cares? You don't need to know about this to enjoy the film. I'm not going to talk anymore. I get so exhausted making these intros. I'm tired. But I can't wait to watch these movies. Have some fun. Let's watch them.